And we say good morning to you. We're broadcasting live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on this hot again, another hot day. Another day in the 90s. Okay with me, no problem. It'll be cooling off soon enough. And we got rain coming, and we need the rain, and we need cooler temperatures, and we'll get them both. So, and guess what? We can't do anything about it either, anyway. So, good morning to you. Live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on People Street, right down from Best Buy, celebrating show number 2100. Love it. You probably don't care two hoots about it. I totally get that, but I do. It's been a long road. We started in our bedroom with a spared bedroom with a, as I've told you before, a clunky computer, two clunky headsets, a clunky camera, and here we go. And so we're getting ready to upgrade even more coming up over the next couple of weeks. Got some new bells and whistles coming. So anyway, as I said, probably doesn't mean a thing to you. It's just another day for you all, and I get that. But for Tom Taylor on this side of the microphone, it's, it's for no other reason. It shows that, my father taught me to have some longevity and some grit and don't quit. And I haven't. There's been many times I'd like to. I just said, let's go do something else. But I've hung in there, and so, we're going to keep on hanging in there. 2,100. So, again, we're very proud of that. We're not going to beat that drum all show, but 2,100 is 2,100. It's a lot of talking, a lot of longevity, a lot of perseverance, and a lot of guests. We got two more coming on today. Lots going on. Charlie Baker's got some really good questions. The NCAA president, which is the very thing I talked about a couple of weeks ago on the show. And so all about this settlement that's coming towards the NCAA, how they're going to distribute the money. And today, which will be our lead story here in a second, coming off to the national anthem, how do you distribute it amongst the guys and the girls now, Title IX, because they're going to get a cut of the action. How much do they get? Who gets more money on the settlement? The ones that are bringing more money in, a.k.a. football programs, baseball programs. Who gets the jingle? Got that coming up. Of course, Major League Baseball, college football, college baseball. I think you know by now the coach jumping from Texas A&M to Texas, which is like going from Alabama to Auburn down in Texas. They don't like each other. And the A&M fans are upset about how it was handled, and I would have to agree with it. Because he sat there in a press conference and said, he really got mad. Schlossnagle in the post-game interview after losing to Tennessee, he got very adamant about how unfair it was to ask him that kind of question. He knew something was up. He knew there was that's been in the works, guarantee it. That did not happen in 24 hours or less. There's been talk, there's been conversation. Timing was very interesting to fire the coach and then turn right around and hire the new coach in less than 24 hours. No, I ain't buying it for a second. So the way it was handled by the coach needled the Texas A&M fans, and I get that. I thought it was very poorly handled. So when they sit up there and give you this garbage, which is what it is, that's why I don't believe half the stuff I hear anymore. Well, we're loyal to the cause. No, you're not loyal to the cause. You got enough money, which is exactly what happened, and I'm not begrudging the guy what he did. We're all out here to try and better ourselves. But to do it the way he did it, in the press conference and all that. But we'll get into that coming up here in a few minutes. Right now, let's get into the national anthem. The Kingdom Heirs on show number 2100 of the Tom Taylor Sports.
1, 2. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And back on the Tom Dooley Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Hello, Linda Wagner. How you doing, lady? Appreciate you very, very much. So here we go. Big story. I mean, it's very interesting. I talked about this last week, and it's true. We're talking about this $2.2 billion payout. Well, who gets it? How far back do you go to pay these student athletes? I mean, how many years do we go back to get this? And now they bring up a legitimate question. NCAA President Charlie Baker looking to the feds for help in solving how to distribute a $2.8 billion House antitrust settlement. It's huge. How Title IX fits into the House settlement, which will pave the way for a new collegiate revenue sharing model, if approved and will be approved, has loomed over college athletics since it was agreed to back in May. Now, Title IX requires requires universities to provide equal opportunity for male and female athletes. Okay. With schools opting for a new revenue sharing plan, how that number will be split up among the athletes has prompted great debate, and it is a legitimate, very legitimate question. The Department of Education has yet to weigh in on the Title IX implication of the deal. Without federal guidance, it could mirror how schools approach name, image, and likeness. Ultimately, coming down to risk tolerance on what is permissible, or at least legally defensible. What's that mean? What can you get by with? I guess what we're saying. Some schools have already said they're going to assume the Title IX mandates. They give up 50% female, 50% male based on the student body makeup. Split it right down the middle. The girls get half, the guys get half. Going back 7 years. 7 years. Well, all right, what about the people that quit? What about the people transferred? There's got to be some stipulations, I would think. So it gets even more interesting. A big issue, as Baker alluded to, could come either way with legal challenges. Somebody's going to get sued out of this deal. It's too broad-based. It's too wide open. Here's a wad of money we're going to throw to these people, in this case, these student athletes. And who gets it and how much? He says, for instance, a school can split the money evenly amongst men and women athletes. It could prompt football players to sue if they aren't receiving enough compensation relative to the revenue they generate for the schools, which is exactly right. So now the football players say, whoa, hold on here, cowboy. We're bringing in all the money to football games. We need a bigger cut of the action. There you go. Title IX, the ladies say, no, well, you know, we're supposed to, federal law says we're entitled to some of that money. School says, okay, who's greasing our sleds the most? The football program or the basketball program or whatever program. And not volleyball, not tennis or whatever. Not that those are bad sports, but they're not generating the revenue that the big boys are. So the NCAA president says football players could sue if they aren't receiving enough compensation relative to the revenue they generate for the schools, which is 100% correct. All right, then there's been talk about sitting down in each conference and make up their own rules. Okay, that works to a point. But I was at Virginia Tech in the ACC, and I transferred to Tennessee in the SEC, and there's a whole lot more money out there in the SEC, and so I want my cut. This is crazy to just say, oh, we got a wad of money, $2.8 billion, $2.8 billion. Hello, Krista Britt. Hello, Mr. McQueen. How you doing, sir? So who gets it? It's crazy, and it ain't going away. So they've got to decide before August how this is going to happen. Well, also in this article, he said, and understandably so, a lot of people are vacating right now. They're out of pocket. They're not around. The people making the decisions are on vacation, which makes perfect sense. So Charlie Baker says there's a lot riding on this thing. But Title IX, you better believe they're going to and they should, stand there with their hand out saying, if the boys are getting it, we're going to get it. But how much do you give each athlete? Which sport has the most leverage? Well, no question. In my mind, you give more money to the folks that generate more money for me. On a job site, the old boy busting it, working hard. Hello, Krista Britt. Happy Wednesday, you too, dear. Thank you. That's a great family. Show number 2100. We're live here again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. So, just like here, who's going to make more money? The guy that's bringing you in more money in a managerial situation? Absolutely. Managing people, or the person out here on the line making fries or making salads. Not that that's bad, but they're going to pay more to the one bringing in more money. So it'll be in this title, or in this antitrust settlement. I would think the schools would say, okay, football programs bringing in more jacks, we're going to pay them more because they brought us in more. But the lady's going to go out there and go, wait, hold on, cowboy. Title IX says we get our cut too. It's going to be interesting. Charlie Baker, president NCAA, making those comments yesterday, and everything he said is very legitimate. Hey, we're live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. The maple pepper bacon sandwich. Get it 3 ways. That's the new summertime sandwich. Hello, Francis Russell. Hello, Peggy Peterson. Somebody asked me the other day why I look over here, because that's the phone. That's where the phone is, where I can see who's watching the show. I guess I could put it right here. Make it easier. I don't know why it makes any difference, but there you go. Now I can look down and say, she's right here, Peggy Peterson and Francis Russell. And Inez is right there. That's my buddy. And we're here again for the maple pepper bacon sandwich. You can get it grilled, get it spicy, get it regular. And they're selling a bunch of them. And, of course, the peach milkshake is the summertime shake of choice. But they still have the chocolate, the vanilla, the cookies and cream and strawberry. Still got those. Those are staples. But the specialty, if you will, or the summertime shake, is the legendary peach milkshake. No question. Tennessee, big signing in a literal sense. Yesterday, college football. Josh Heupel, well, things are going well in Knoxville right now. Heupel and Tennessee gaining their highest-rated commit in the 2025 class. Big signing because he's a big boy, 6'6", 285. Oh, yeah, Douglas Utu coming to Tennessee. He said no to Washington. He said no to the national champion Michigan. He said no to Nebraska. He said no to the Crimson Tide. He said yes to Tennessee. He says, proud to be announcing I'll be committing my craft and my talents to the University of Tennessee. 6'6", 285, lineman, obviously. Douglas Utu coming to play football for Tennessee. 3-year starter at Las Vegas Bishop Gorman High School. Right tackle. Wow. Can play at both tackle and guard, so Utu was the second highest rated uncommitted offensive tackle in the country. So Tennessee just moved up in the recruiting rankings, no question. So with Utu, the Volunteers continue into the summer with a class that features 4-star quarterback George McIntyre, defensive tackle Ethan Utley, who was number 9 on the list. McIntyre is number 5 on the quarterback list, and Nick Moore, offensive guard, at number 6. So Tennessee getting some horses up front in a literal sense. Douglas Utu, 6'6", 285. Hello, Chad DeMoss. How you doing, sir? So you're getting ready to play the Vols. And, of course, you know before Saturday game day who you're going up against. But you walk out on the field and you go, Taylor? Yes, sir. You got him today. Okay. 6'6" and 285. So, and, I'm 6'5", but I ain't 6'6", and I ain't 285, and I'm not chiseled like this guy is. But he'd know I was out there. I'll give him a run for a minute. I'll knock him around a little bit. He'd know I was there. God, Gosh, the Marine used to tell us boys, his four brothers, he'd say, boys, when you get out there, kick up a little dust and let him know you're out there. I'd let him know, I guarantee I'd let him know I was out there. Now, he may have his shoe prints up the side of my head as he runs over me, but I'm going to fight him tooth and nail as long as I could. So you can imagine walking out there looking at a 6'6", and there's bigger guys in college football. He's not even the biggest. Anyway, Utu on board now for Tennessee at 6'6", 285. So things continue to go well for the Tennessee Volunteers. Tony Vitello at least not going to Texas. He may go to Texas A&M, I suppose, since that's now an open slot. But he's not going to Texas because the A&M coach left yesterday to go to Texas. So, which, as I said at the outset of the show, for him to leave A&M and go to Texas down there is like leaving Tennessee and going to Alabama. It's like, it just grinds people's teeth because of the rivalry. Or Florida. The older folks think it's Tennessee, Alabama, the rivalry, and the younger folks, younger generations, I think, would tell you that Florida's a big rival. But either way, we got more to talk about that coming up here in a few minutes. Guest number one's in the house. He's going to join us coming up. Right after this timeout, we're live here at Chick-fil-A, show number 2100. Countdown to high school football and Cyclone football. 58 days, 9 hours, 5 minutes, and 18 seconds and clicking. I love it. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this from Container Man. We're here live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City, show number 2100 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
In a world where cluttered trash and debris threaten your property, one man is ready to save the day. He's Container Man, your dumpster delivery superhero. Need to clear out your garage? Call Container Man. Remodeling your home? Call Container Man. Demolition waste taking over your job site? Call Container Man. From minor to major projects, Container Man has the perfect size dumpster for every task. With lightning fast delivery and the customer service of a locally owned company, he will help you restore order to your world. When you're ready to fight cluttered trash and debris, call Container Man.
On to Travis Constable again with TNS Home Improvements. Tell me what it's all about, sir.
Well, we build decks, do porches, roofing, underpinning under mobile homes, a little bit of remodel work, but with the decks and roofing, we just try to stick on that end of things.
Absolutely. And so they've been at it for how many years now?
We've been at it for a little over 3 years now.
3 years. TNS Home Improvements. They go all over the Tri-Cities. You take quotes. You're licensed and bonded, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So I make the phone call. Let's step me through real quick. I make the phone call, get a hold of you, say we're going to come out and see what you got going on and tell me what do you do, take it from there. What happens next?
I'll schedule a day and time to come out and speak with you and give you an estimate, and you just have to say yay or nay, and then we put you on the schedule.
Social media, how do we find you?
Facebook.
Yep. And the phone number is?
423-946-8432.
They've been at it, folks. Again, started with a drill and a Chevy, what was it, Chevy Blazer?
Chevy Trailblazer.
Trailblazer. And now they're up to 5 full-time employees and four part-time employees. They're going great guns. They want to help you. Let them come give you a quote on what you need. TNS Home Improvements, sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Elizabeth and Cyclone Sports. And back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, show number 2100. A lot of talking. Starting, as I said earlier, a spare bedroom, a clunky headset, a clunky GoPro camera that probably isn't worth $20 now, and a computer that you almost had to take and crank it. It was so antiquated. And here we are getting ready to upgrade it again, getting ready to make another new upgrade. We'll be off next week. Coming out the following week, we got some new things coming, and by the start of football season, got a brand new system going in. So we're very excited about that. So Andrew Smith's with us from the Johnson City Press. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Tom. Good to be back again.
Yes, thank you for coming. Young man does a great job. Appreciate him very much. He's become a Wednesday regular. Of course, next week we'll be gone, taking a week off, so do a little downtime. Come back after that with a vengeance. We're down to 58 days till kickoff for Cyclone football and high school football in general. So once we get on the backside of next week, which will be the second and final week of Dead Week, then we'll really start focusing on high school sports, and because it's going to be here before you know it. So Your take, the obvious, you called it. To go ahead and give you props. You called it. Tennessee and Texas A&M. Give me your thoughts on it.
I know it was the series that I think a lot of people expected, except for the fact that all of game one, most of game two, Tennessee really struggled with runners on base. And that felt like it was going to be the story of an A&M sweep. But, we got a big two-run homer from Dylan Dreiling, kind of opened the floodgates, so to speak. Ended up taking game two, and then game three on Monday night. Man, what a performance from Xander Sechrist starting for Tennessee. Able to get enough offense, and something that stuck out to me, end of game three, Aaron Combs balks a runner over to third, wild pitch, scores him, one-run game. What's he do? Laughs it off, whatever. So very big for Tony Vitello and the Tennessee program. You had the feeling that of the programs on campus at Tennessee, they'd probably be the first one to get a national championship, but to actually see it come to fruition is special to see for sure.
We talk about Dreiling, who had the 3 home runs, and, this guy was an offensive juggernaut. But for my money, and I went and looked at it, backed it so I can back it up. I thought the whole key to Game 3 was Xander Sechrist. Struck out 7, scattered 6 hits, allowed 1 walk, 1 run, and 5 1/3. Now, they needed starting pitching. Of course, their guy, Texas A&M guys, Lampkin, struggled, to say the least. But for the Tennessee Volunteers, they needed a guy to come out of the gate and give him a lot of innings up front on the front end as a starting pitcher, and he did that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what Xander Sechrist has done kind of all postseason, really, even going back to the back end of the regular season. His last regular season start won a division title. His SEC tournament start sent them to the championship game. And then win the super regional, win the regional and super regional with his starts. They make it to the World Series final on his start. And then, fittingly enough, he's on the mound when they win a national championship.
Certainly not diminishing the offensive firepower of Tennessee. They've set the home run records. Everybody knows about the offense. But in Game 3, good pitching stops good hitting all day long. And I thought that first inning, when he pretty much held him in check, I thought he made a statement. Then Moore, at the bottom of the first, hit that home run. Kind of set the table psychologically in my book. Hello, David Land. How you doing, sir? And Bonnie Lovelace, how are you doing? Thanks for watching. So, for my money, I thought Sechrist was the man on Monday night. But anyway, Tennessee wins it. They're back in town. Hello, Cody Taylor. How you doing, sir? We just told you got the big man, 6'6", 285 offensive lineman. Picked Tennessee, Douglas Utu, picked Tennessee over Michigan, Alabama, Washington, Nebraska. I thought picking it over Michigan's bigger than over Alabama. It's the defending national champ. 6'6", 285, said, I'm coming to play for Tennessee. That's a big, big man. So that's a big story for them. They continue to go up the recruiting rankings now for the Tennessee Vols. So things are going well in Knoxville for the Vol Nation. So NBA draft tonight. What's going on with that? Who do you think's? Give me an overview of what's going on in the NBA draft this evening.
So, number 1 overall pick goes to the Atlanta Hawks, and at least as of last night, they still don't really know what they're going to do with it. It's not like last year where you had an obvious consensus number 1 in Victor Wembanyama. A lot of people are liking Alex Sarr. I do too. The only problem with that is he has not been very helpful to the Atlanta Hawks in the pre-draft process. He hasn't went to Atlanta to work out. He hasn't provided his medicals to the Hawks, so they could still draft him, but it feels more unlikely than not. So then you turn your head, does it go Donovan Clingan or another Frenchman? I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name because, to be honest, I'll probably butcher it. But those two are kind of your new contentions for number 1, because you'll probably see Alex Sarr slide to 2, or there's the chance of, does Atlanta trade that pick? That's definitely not out of the question either. Also, we enter to see where Dalton Connect goes. We're seeing the theme of Rocky Top. Projected to go anywhere from 5 to 9. Seeing a lot of projections have him go 8th overall to the San Antonio Spurs. So, kind of your 2 big storylines, at least locally-ish, is Atlanta, what they do at number 1, and where's Dalton Connect go?
So if you're going to be the number 1 draft pick, and this team has reached out to Andrew and says, hey, get your paperwork in, do this, do that, why in the Sam Hill this guy not do this for Atlanta Hawks? They're going to throw him a bucket load of money to this guy if he signs. And so he's been very, according to what you're telling me, he's been very uncooperative. And
think,
so, why would you? Obviously, don't go. He doesn't want to go play for the Hawks, but still.
I think it's a mixture of his agency. They do not want him positionally playing center, even though that's kind of a fit.
Gotcha.
That's where Atlanta would probably want to play most of his minutes. I think he wants to be more of a more of a power forward, which granted in the NBA these days, what are positions anyway? But he envisions himself more as a pro style 4 than a 5, and I think the Washington Wizards are the team that would be more apt to give him those 4 minutes instead of the 5. So I think that's kind of maybe forcing his hand to try his hand at being a pro ball 4.
There you go. Tennessee thought A&M had their pitchers, the way they call pitches, asked for it back, but they said they didn't have it. I don't understand what he's telling me, but that's okay. That was why Tennessee was calling pitches by signals from catcher for the rest of the series. Oh, okay. They thought they'd intercepted their signal, figured out their signal calling. I got you. Way to go, Junior. Junior's woke up. He come up out of his nap. He's ready. So appreciate him very, very much. We're here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. So NBA draft, how many rounds go tonight?
First round tonight, and then they've actually changed it until our round 2 will be tomorrow, I think 4 o'clock. But yeah, they split it up into 2 days now. Where's
Dalton Connect go? How high was he going to draft? Is he very marketable?
I would say he's marketable. Very heavy scoring presence. I think is pretty marketable. Like I said, I've seen projections anywhere from 5 to 9. You've seen him go to the Grizzlies, the Raptors, the San Antonio Spurs. Certainly would be cool. I know a decent amount of Grizzlies fans are in the area with them being a Tennessee team. Certainly would be cool for him to stay in state, go to the west side of the state and play for Memphis. But like I said, most projections I see have him going to San Antonio.
There you go, which is a good place. I'm a Spurs guy, so you put him in there with Wemby, as they call him. Could be a pretty good combination. So we'll see. NBA draft tonight. And, again, Dalton Connect, of course, local. So it goes back to the same thing I've asked you and other people. Why don't anybody take a shot on Mac McClung out of Gate City? I mean, this guy's won the All-Star, the slam dunk thing twice. He's MVP of this G League he was in. I mean, everywhere he goes, the guy's successful. So why would you not take a chance on Mac McClung if you're an NBA?
I don't know. I think he definitely could be valuable at the very least as, an occasional rotational piece. I think he can score pretty well. I think there's maybe some concern about defensive versatility. Can he switch? Can he be that impactful on the defensive side of the ball? But I think he can be. It would take a little bit more development, a little bit more intentionality from a coaching staff on that side of the ball. But I think he's a gifted enough scorer where you could reasonably see him on an NBA roster.
If you watch the NBA, if his defense or lack thereof is a problem, you need to watch the NBA. There's a lot of guys don't play much defense, so that doesn't flush with me. So anyway, let's see if I can read this right. Tennessee thought A&M had their pitch com. Okay, the way they call pitches, they asked for it back, or they said they didn't have it. That was why Tennessee was calling pitches by signals from the catcher for the rest of the series. Okay, a little cat and mouse going on. I had to read through that, see what Junior was telling me. So, hello, Kenneth Potter. How you doing? We're here live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. So, what are you working on right now? What's some of the stories?
Let's see here. I'm working on a feature for Kingsport where I talk with one of the Axemen catchers. He goes to Pitt, originally from New Jersey. Kind of want to talk with him about kind of what's life like here as someone who's not from here. So I'm going to be working on that. And then catcher for the Doughboys. He was originally with Elizabethan midseason. Got transferred over to Johnson City, so I talked with him a little bit about his experience there. The Kingsport story should be out later today and print tomorrow, and then the Johnson City catcher should be out this weekend. Otherwise, just doing Appy League game recaps and, practicing photography, kind of enjoying a slower pace before, as you mentioned, 58 days till high school football.
Calm before the storm, no question. Hello, Sandra Perkins. How you doing, lady? What was your take on the A&M coach leaving to go be the Texas baseball coach in less than 24 hours after they got beat? In a post-game news conference or press conference after the Tennessee loss, got really irate with one of the reporters. Said, "Don't ask me that. It's totally unfair," and blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, in hindsight, the guy's lying through his teeth. He knew there was a deal. You can't sit there and tell me in 24 hours Texas calls out of the blue and says, hey, we want to offer you you got agents involved, you got lawyers involved, cutting these deals and buyouts and all that. He knew exactly what he was doing. So I lost a lot of respect for that guy. So what was your take on it?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I thought it was very dirty the way he done Texas A&M. Yeah, it's I wouldn't have had that much of a problem with it if he just came out like, cause that was actually I think before the game on Monday. But regardless, if he just comes out and like denies it and then eventually comes out and takes the job, okay, I get it. You're kind of not wanting to play your hand, whatever. But you going after someone who's just asking a question, right? And there were rumors kind of in the past 24 hours of that question being asked.
Exactly.
So I think it was a valid question to ask.
Yes, it was.
So to go after that reporter on it, I think was more of what I have an issue with even than him just saying, hey, I don't plan on leaving and then leaving, which obviously that's still in and of itself not a good look, especially to A&M's biggest rival. And not only that, he takes his whole staff with him. So
Clear him out. Everybody's gone.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate 72 hours of being a Texas A&M baseball fan for those out there.
Yep. Well, exactly. And so I guarantee there was a I don't care what anybody says. There was a plan in place, and he knew that when he was up at that podium talking, and when he got mad at the reporter who asked a legitimate question, given the fact that Texas just fired their coach, and Texas, last time I checked, was a pretty powerhouse college baseball program. So it's a big deal. And of course, there was talk about them coming after Vitello, and obviously that's not going to be the case. So this guy sits up at the podium or stand, whatever what he was doing, and said, no, I can't believe you'd ask me that. It's totally unfair, blah, blah, blah. And then 24 hours later, he bolts to the program, takes his whole staff with him. So as I said at the outset of the show, Texas A&M and Texas, that's like Auburn and Alabama, or Tennessee and Florida, Tennessee and Bama. I mean, that's like, that's just a really intense rivalry down in Texas. So for him to leave, I get that. He's trying to better himself. But now he left, I understand why the A&M fans are upset, because it was crummy and really not very classy how he did it. But it is what it is. Train rolls on. So he is now the new coach for the Texas Longhorn baseball program. Trying to remember his name. Schoonagel?
Jim Schlossnagle, yep.
That's close. Schlossnagle. So I don't have in front of me. Schlossnagle. Anyway, that's what's going on there. We got the NBA draft tonight. NBA's down. National Hockey League's down. Now we're focusing on Major League Baseball and NASCAR, which I thought was an interesting story. Andy Petrie quitting immediately. He was the executive director of competition for Richard Childress Racing. There's problems over there. I don't know what's going on, but he just left effective immediately, walked away, been with the team for over 10 years. He said, I'm out. I just quit yesterday in the middle of the racing season. Something ain't kosher. There's problems in RCR racing. Kyle Busch isn't having a good year. Austin Dillon is not competitive at all. And that Austin Dillon ride for him in NASCAR. So would you not think there's problems with a guy that's in charge of competition quits in the middle of the season, effective immediately?
Oh, absolutely. There's feels like when there's smoke, there's fire.
Oh, absolutely.
With RCR. And, yeah, I mean, you could just look at the results. I mean, it's arguably the worst year of Kyle Busch's career.
Yep.
It seems like any time you think it can't get any worse, it's gotten worse for him in that 8 team. But, it's not just Kyle. It's obviously he's not helped matters a ton, but it certainly goes higher up than him into Richard Childress Racing. And it's kind of it's weird for me to see. Growing up, RCR was a very competitive championship level organization for a while, and now here we are, and it's not been a good, honestly, couple years really for RCR. So, I hope for their sake that they get it turned around fairly quickly, because I think NASCAR is in a better spot when you see the 3 and the 8 and the RCR team competing for wins, competing for titles.
Absolutely. So you look at Kyle Busch, not in a very good year, to say the least. He's even right now outside the playoffs. Of course, there's time for him to get in the playoffs, but he is struggling, to say the least. And so the rumor that he was going to go back to Joe Gibbs is gone. We talked about that Monday with Birchfield, which was a rumor at that point, but yesterday Chase Briscoe announced he will be taking Truex Jr.'s spot on the team next year. So, so he's running right now for Stewart Haas Racing. I would think they're just kind of going to go through the motions. I mean, it's already been announced, hey, look, I've got a team next year. Whether I stink it up the rest of the year, I win everything from here on out. I'm not going to be here next year because they're shutting the team down. I'm going over there. So what's that do to morale on the Chase Briscoe crew right now?
I wouldn't think it would help it much unless that you've got some guys that maybe know that, hey, I'm going with Chase to Joe Gibbs. But for some guys, I think it's still like an open opportunity to show, maybe not for Chase, but for his pit guys, for guys in the garage, hey, I'm still good enough to be with a Cup Series team next year, even if it's not with Stewart Haas. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lame duck situation for Chase in the 14 car now. It was kind of one of the worst kept secrets in NASCAR for a couple weeks now that he'd be heading to JGR. But yeah, I mean, it's good for Briscoe. I think he deserves an opportunity to be with a championship level organization like Gibbs. He's driven well in not great equipment with Stewart Haas, so it's good for him. But certainly, you wonder what that does do for the rest of the 14 team this year. And I guess only time will really tell, because we can speculate what's going through their minds, but we're not in the minds of a tire changer or even a spotter.
Of course, they want to do good too. They got to find work next year as well, so they got to be able to impress somebody. Going, okay, you guys are quitting next year. Let's put you over on this team. I want to pick you up on this team. So, hello, Karen Walker. Hello to Kathy Johnson. Hello, Ronald Sear. CYR. Hope I'm saying it right. Last but not least, you're wearing the Braves cap. Are you feeling better about your Bravos right now?
Yeah, they've figured a little something out offensively. I think moving Jared Kelenic to the leadoff spot's been big. He's really settled in nicely right there. Still would like to see a move for another outfielder at the deadline, preferably a left-handed hitting outfielder, because the Braves seem to have a plethora of right-handers that can hit lefties, but no one that can hit right-handed pitching outside of Kelenic, and we'll see how that goes. But the pitching's still been pretty good. Reynaldo Lopez, I think he's throwing game one of a doubleheader today against the Cards, so he's continued to be fantastic. Chris Sale, Max Fried, Charlie Morton's kind of been a little hit or miss as of late, but if you're asking that out of your fourth starter, and that's kind of what Charlie Morton's having to be right now. I mean, there are worse places to be. But, I mean, it's good to see the offense figure things out. Austin Riley's kind of catching a little heater. So, yeah, I mean, things are starting to look less bleak for the Bravos.
They're actually starting Bryce Elder today, too, in that second game. So, bringing him out, if they can get him going, that's going to be very encouraging for the Braves pitching staff. They need it. So, they're playing 2 today, right?
Yes, sir, 2 today, and then they've got a 1-game stop in the south side of Chicago tomorrow. Yeah. Makeup game from a series back in, I think it was April.
With the White Sox?
Yeah, with the White Sox, which you would hope they'd be able to take care of business against Chicago, but terrible. It's
21 wins on the year, the whole year. 21 wins for the Chicago White Sox. Thank you, my good friend. See you see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Have
a good 4th of July, everybody.
You do the same. July the 10th, we'll be back in here with this young man who does a great job. Quick break. Back after this. We'll take a look at Major League Baseball and see what's going on there around the bigs after this timeout on show number 2100 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're talking to Joseph Taylor, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. And what's going on at Ivy Hall Nursing Home?
Ivy Hall, we would love to have short-term rehab patients. If you go in for knee surgery, shoulder surgery, stuff like that, you need a little bit of rehab, please consider Ivy Hall. We have private rooms for our short-term rehab patients. We offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, full-time respiratory therapy. We'd love to take care of you.
Looking for help? Looking for folks to work here?
Absolutely, 100%. If you want to come in, if you're a CNA, LPN, RN, you want to work in dietary, laundry, housekeeping, we would love to have you. You can go to ivyhallnursingHome.com and fill out an application. Somebody will certainly call you back if you put in an application.
Yep. So all these different folks, you take care of these different therapy programs, right?
Absolutely. We love the short-term patients. We love the long-term patients. Either one, we want to take care of anybody that comes our way, for sure.
Social media?
Social media, Ivy Hall Nursing Home on Facebook, and like I said, ivyhallnursinghome.com.
There you go. One of our great sponsors, folks. Love promoting them. Again, the great folks here in Elizabethton, sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports, Ivy Hall Nursing Home. Quick set locks. You got them in. You now got them in stock. Tell me about it.
Yes, that's been one of our latest product lines that we've added here just in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Really, we were looking at a way to get another line of locks that gave us a little bit more variety, a little bit different type style, and user friendly. With quick set locks, you have a number of options, and we carry those where you can actually key them yourself. So they can be keyed if you lose a key. They come with a insert thing that you can put in there, and you can put a new key in it, and it will actually set the tumblers to your new key. And so you can rekey it on the job site, as well as Quickset also has a number of locks that have like a microband type of a coating to them that cuts down on the transfer of germs and things of that nature. Really handy if you've got children running around, you don't know where their hands have been, where they've washed them in the bathrooms or whatever, then you've got these locks right here that will probably hinder up to 99% of your germ transfer.
You've also got locks with Quickset for mobile homes, right?
Yes, we've got mobile home locks. We've got kits where you've got 2 locks, 2 deadbolts if you're trying to match your front and your backs as far as that goes. We've got, a lot of different colors and styles. Naturally, brass, has been around for eons of time, but we've got also, the nickel finish, the oil rub bronze or darker ones, and the antique English finish in locks. So you can get just about anything to match about any decor you've got.
Be loyal, buy local, support Big John's Closeouts here in Elizabeth. And again, the hours are open.
We're 7:30 to 6 Monday through Friday and 8 to 4 on Saturday.
How do we find you on social media?
Okay, go ahead and you can, just go to BigJohnsCloseouts.com. You can see both us and Mountain City Store, or you can email questions or requests or quotes that you want. If it's cabinets, you can send it to cabinets@BigJohnsCloseouts.com, or just general inquiries, you can send it to experts@BigJohnsCloseouts.com.
One of our great sponsors, I preach it every day, be loyal, buy local, support the local folks. It's a local mom and pop company. He's the owner, Mike Barnett, Big John's Closeouts here in Elizabethton, and we appreciate them very much being part of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports.
So I stopped in at Chick-fil-A for lunch and saw Officer Wilson come in. I decided to place a dine-in mobile order and have a cookie delivered to him just to show appreciation for his service for our community.
A few minutes later, I noticed that Officer Wilson had gotten up and left, and I knew he hadn't gotten his cookie yet.
I'm headed to my car. I turn around and I see Allie, and she's running after me.
Mr. Police Officer, Mr. Police Officer.
Usually when someone yells, officer, officer, they want to ask me about a ticket they got. I absolutely wanted the cookie. This cookie is delicious.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we bring in the heavies on this show. I'm telling you, my buddy, dear friend of this show, Tim Birchfield. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Yep.
I'm doing great. Thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate him coming by, and I said, look, this is show. What is on that lady's neck? I'm sorry. Stop me dead in my tracks. 2100 show. And I said, would you care to come by and be on the show? I want to publicly thank you because this gentleman's been with me since day one. We were in the old store, tore it down, went to Elizabethton and got it rebuilt.
That's right.
came back over here. Now Elizabethton's being worked on.
Yeah.
So I'm over here twice a week. But it all started because of Tim Birchfield. So it's show number 2100. And probably means nothing to anybody else but me because this shows, my daddy always said never quit. So I guess to a degree, it shows longevity and tenacity. It's probably times when you guys started, you wanted to chuck it when you got.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So back in the day. How long you been with Chick-fil-A?
If I make it till Monday, it'll be 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
a lot of changes in Chick-fil-A.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, well, you'll be here. A lot of changes in 40 years Chick-fil-A, isn't there?
A lot of changes.
Yeah.
A lot of changes in everything.
Yeah, amen. Hello, Michael Stansberry. How you doing, sir? Jonathan Wright. Mike Rowe up in Kentucky watching. Thank you. So, what is it? Did you ever meet Truett? The late Truett?
Oh, yeah. He's been here
has he
three
really?
or four times, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I know him well.
So, his business model. How can we take that business model that you know, after all these years working for Chick-fil-A, and those people out there on the other side of the screen can apply what Truett did? What was his MO? What got him going? What made him go?
He did a couple of things. He always reminded us to be generous. And he also reminded us to treat people with honor and dignity and respect. And our corporate purpose, which is right up front of our headquarters in Atlanta, is to glorify God by being a faithful steward of everything that's entrusted to us, and to have a positive influence on anyone that comes in contact with Chick-fil-A. So he wanted us to take care of what we had, and he wanted us to have a positive influence on people that we came in contact with, whether they were in the restaurant or whether we were out in the community or whatever. But I wanted to really take an opportunity to congratulate you on 1,200 shows. No, 2,100.
2,100.
2,100. I got my numbers wrong. You're becoming the new Pat Sajak. Except he hit 8,000. You got a ways to go, but and I'm gonna steal the words of Tony Vitello yesterday. It's been a big week. Tennessee winning the World Series. Tony Vitello said, "You're either a Vol or you're not," and I hope he stays one.
I do too.
We're gonna find out. We'll see.
Yep.
I hope he's not short-sighted enough to take an offer from a school that maybe never has a chance to win. He's got a great thing now and got a great tradition he's built there, and be a great place for him to spend a lot of years there.
Absolutely.
Building that program. So anyway, it's been a pleasure to have you here. We've got sort of a treat this summer. We've had you 2 days a week instead of one, so it's been a treat. And I talked with Tommy yesterday in Elizabethton, and he will reopen on Thursday, September the 5th.
There you go.
So that's the opening day. So we'll have you here all the way up to Labor Day week.
Yep.
So
we'll still be here on Wednesdays. We'll still be here on Wednesdays, but just on Mondays we'll be back over there.
Yeah, we'll have to start moving into football here pretty soon.
Yep. 50, I can tell you how long it is. I got the clock running right here. It is 58 days, 8 hours, 33 minutes, and 2 seconds, but who's counting? So
there you go.
So here's my question, and I do thank you because I wanted him to come be on this show.
Yeah.
If nobody else, because he has been with me and stuck with me and hung with me and all that. So what separates, in your humble opinion, because there's a lot of fast food restaurants out there, a lot of chains. What do you feel like separates Chick-fil-A from all the others?
Well, you would identify with this. You go into an organization, you go into a church, you go into a place, and you can feel a spirit in the business. You can feel a spirit inside the church. And we have spent our whole lives here trying to build a culture so that when people walk in the door, they sense that there's something different about being here.
Amen.
Than anywhere else they'd be. And so we want to serve them some great food. We want to treat them with honor, and we want them to go out in the parking lot and say, I don't know what just happened to me, but I'm going back tomorrow. That's what we want to do.
That's a great. Don't know what happened. I want to go back tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll go back tomorrow. I liked what happened.
Like what happened. That's good. Well, I know you're busy.
Yeah.
I want to say thanks again publicly.
Absolutely.
Your dear friend. He gave me a book a couple of years ago. He gave me 2 books. Gave me the book on Truett, his autobiography about how he grew the business. A lot of setbacks, a lot of adversity, and he weathered the storm. He gave me another book about the teachings of Jesus. Remember that little book you gave me?
That's right.
So I got them both.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you here.
Well,
you're always welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
What a class act. I'm so blessed. I'm
Your man.
We are blessed. So, you what? Nobody for the moment. I got somebody coming in a few minutes, but I had Tim Birchfield. There you go. The owner of this establishment, and I appreciate him very, very much. Tom Taylor Sports Show, show number 2100 here again at Chick-fil-A, the Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich. That's the hot one right now going on. And so let's take a look at Major League Baseball. Hello, Linda Tuckler, Ronnie Woods. Ron, how you doing, sir? Thank you. What a dear friend. So, and Linda Tucker, who's right over there. I just now saw her. She's watching, and she's eating her lunch. So, thank you. Let's set this back up right here. Let's run through Major League Baseball. Let's actually start with, I want to start with this story out of Texas A&M. This guy just didn't do it right. Did not do it right. Here it is. Jim Schlossnagle didn't do it right, in my humble opinion. So he just led Texas A&M to its first college World Series championship series, leaving to become the new coach of Texas. Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem. It's how he did it. Agreed to a deal with the Longhorns one day after Tennessee beat them 6-5, and one day after they fired their coach. Schlossnagle went 135 wins, 62 defeats in 3 seasons with Texas A&M, including 2 College World Series visits and a 53-15 record this season, which tied him with the second most wins in program history. This guy is off and running. But how he did it, he has a press conference, and this is what he said in the press conference after the Tennessee loss. He was asked, because that afternoon it was announced that Tennessee, or rather Texas, was firing their coach. So, any interest in going to Texas? He says this, quote, I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again. That hasn't changed in my mind. That's unfair to talk about something like that. Now, this is at the press conference. I guarantee he knew he was leaving. There's no way they cut this deal in about 6 or 7 hours. There's no way. There's lawyers. There's buyouts, there's contract extensions, what we're going to pay the guy, what's the buyout, so on and so forth. So he says in the press conference, this Schlossnagle, it's unfair to talk about something like that. I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job. I poured every ounce of my soul into this job. I've gotten this job every single ounce. I've given this job every single ounce I could possibly give it. So write that down. Unfair to ask me that question. Really? Then he comes out an hour later, 2 hours later, and says, I'm going to Texas. No. That's not how you do it, sir. So, and the guy was just asking him, it was a legitimate question. And so he did, and he said, would you ever go to your bitter rival? No, well, he did. So, anyway, he's gone. Now there's an A&M vacancy. I'm going to assume that Tony Vitello would be contacted to see if, in fact, he would be a potential candidate to coach the Aggies. We'll see. Oh, he'd never leave Tennessee. Hope you're right, but this right here will change things pretty quick. Let's take a look at Major League Baseball. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Show number 2100 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Shohei Ohtani, guy is on fire. In the month of June, he's batting .306, 10 home runs, 22 RBIs. In the last 9 games, Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers, 7 home runs, 16 RBIs. Ohtani's had an RBI in 9 straight games that ties him with the late Roy Campanelli for a Dodgers franchise record in a single season. So the guy is on fire for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So are the Cleveland Guardians. We talk about this team all the time. They win again last night. The Guardians are 51-26. Cleveland now has the best record in Major League Baseball. The best record in MLB is now not Philadelphia, not the Yankees, the Cleveland Guardians, 51-26. Interesting. Garrett Cole, first outing after being on the injured list, had an outstanding outing last week. Last night, not so much. Against the Mets in the Subway Series, gave up, count them, 4 home runs last night. 6 runs on 7 hits, 4 walks, gave up 4 home runs. Failed to strike out anybody of the 21 batters he faced. First time that's happened in a long, long time for Garrett Cole. Did not have a good outing at all for the New York Yankees. So it's a game of peaks and valleys. First time out, great performance last week. Last night, second time out after the long stay on the injured list. Got lit up like a Christmas tree. The Brewers hanging in there in the Central. They go and get Dallas Keuchel, former Cy Young Award winner, American League Cy Young winner, former Cy Young winner, Dallas Keuchel from the Seattle Mariners. They've lost yet another pitcher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starting pitchers now they've lost for the Brewers, and yet they're still in first place, needing help, so they went and got Dallas Keuchel from the Seattle Mariners. There you go. Yesterday's scores. Who won? Cleveland beat Baltimore again. The Orioles are in a nosedive right now. Detroit beat the Phillies. Braves got rained out, but they still picked up a little bit of momentum. The Mets beat the Yankees. Toronto over Boston. Pittsburgh beat the Reds. Houston over Colorado. Dodgers, we told you, beat the White Sox. Miami over Kansas City. Milwaukee beat Texas. Angels over Oakland, and Arizona beat Minnesota. Also yesterday, Padres over Washington, and the Giants beat the Cubbies. Today it's a doubleheader. Atlanta playing 2. Lopez game 1. Bryce Elder game 2 for Atlanta against the Cardinals in St. Louis at 1:45 and at 7:15. Starting here in just about 5 minutes, Seattle and Tampa Bay. Also day games, Philadelphia, Detroit, the Pirates in Cincinnati, Colorado at Houston, Miami at Kansas City, Texas and Milwaukee. Other day games, Oakland and LA to battle the Angels, and the Padres hosting Washington. Tonight under the lights, you've got Cleveland and Baltimore, Yankees and the Mets in that Subway Series again, Toronto in Fenway to battle the Red Sox, the Dodgers in Chicago to battle the White Sox. Hello, Linda Tucker. How you doing, lady? Minnesota, Arizona, and the Cubs will be in San Francisco to battle the Giants. Let's take a look at the standings. Man, it's interesting. It was nobody here, and then boom. They are lined out the door. Well, not lined out the door, but, of course, here they move them in, move them out. They don't waste any time. In the American League, pennant race right now, the Yankees lead the Orioles by 2. Yankees have lost 2 in a row and 7 out of 10. The Orioles have lost 5 in a row and 6 out of 10. The Red Sox have won 8 out of 10. They're 8.5 back. They are slowly gaining ground on the Yankees and the Orioles. Should be an interesting second half of the season for the Red Sox. They're playing pretty well right now. And then right below them, Tampa Bay's won 3 in a row and 7 out of 10. So right now, the top 2 dogs, the Yankees and the Orioles, are struggling. They both hit a slow patch. Hello to Rhonda Henderson, and hello to Maine Rennie, maybe? M-A-M-A-N-E. In the Central Division, Cleveland again with the best record in baseball leads. They've won 7 in a row. They lead the Twins by 9. Twins have won 6 out of 10. But Cleveland the best record in baseball now, 51-26. In the West, the Mariners have lost 3 in a row and 6 out of 10, and yet they still lead the Astros, who are red hot, probably the hottest team in baseball. Astros have won 6 in a row and 8 out of 10. They're down only 4.5 now. Hello, Karen Snyder. How you doing, lady? And the Rangers continue their slide. They've lost 2 in a row and 6 out of 10. They're 6.5 back now in the American League Western Division. Again, Evan Carter, Bruce Bochy said out till around the 4th of July. He's been out for a month. He said on June the 4th he'll be out for a month. And so we'll see when he comes back. Of course, the 4th is next week. See if he'll be ready to go. Hello, Scott Snyder. How you doing, sir? In the National League, the Phillies lead the Braves by 7 1/2. Phillies are 5-5 over the last 10. And the Braves have won 7 out of 10. They're starting to get their mojo back. Bryce Elder, if he has a good outing tonight, that second game of the doubleheader in St. Louis, that's huge for the Atlanta Braves. They got to have some arms. If he can get it going, Lopez will be in that first game. The second game tonight, they got rained out, playing 2 tonight. Got rained out yesterday. So Bryce Elder, I think a lot of eyes will be on him to see if he can get back in there and contribute. Anyway, they're down 7.5 now to the Phillies in the East. And the Central, the Brewers have won 3 in a row and 6 out of 10. They lead the Cardinals, who are surging. Cardinals have won 4 in a row and 7 out of 10. And the Cardinals are 5.5 back now. They're making a chase for the Brewers. The Pirates and the Reds and the Cubs are going in the opposite direction, but the Cardinals have won 4 in a row and 7 out of 10 right now. Then in the National League West, it's the Dodgers. They're the Dodgers. They won 3 in a row and 7 out of 10. They lead the Padres by 8.5. Padres are playing good baseball, but they can't catch them. They've won 2 in a row and 6 out of 10. And the Diamondbacks have won 6 out of 10. But they're both way back behind the Dodgers right now in the NL West. So that's your look at Major League Baseball on this Wednesday, June the 26th. Hard to believe it's the last Wednesday of the month, isn't it? Yeah. When is July 1st, by the way? That would be July the 1st is when? Monday, July the 1st. Hard to believe. It's clicking off. How many days till Christmas do you want to know? You probably don't. But I'm going to tell you how many days till Christmas. It's like, no, don't do this, but I'm going to. Just for kicks and giggles. How many days till Christmas Eve? 181 days till Christmas Eve. Hard to believe. All right, quick break. Back after this, more sports right after this timeout from one of our great sponsors, Making It Go. Be the good folks from Double C Western Supply in Elizabeth and Lotus Scott Snyder, Terry Berry. You're watching show number 2100 of the Tom Douglas Sports Show live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Double C Western Supply. Hey, dudes, you started with 600 pairs. You don't have 600 pairs now. You've been moving them.
They are selling, thankfully. But
yes.
Yes, we have a lot in the store. 600 pairs to choose from. 11 different styles for men, 14 different styles for women. And we do have some kids on the way. We ordered them. We've got the order, so we've got kids coming as well. This is some examples of the men's we've got in stock. All the men's are $65. Super lightweight, super comfortable, very supportive on your feet. And these are just some of the styles we've got. This is probably one of my favorites.
Mine too.
I love the pattern on it. It's they call it Grade Patriotic. So it's it's like the flag, you know, but it's kind of not as bright where you could wear it with about anything. The black on black has probably been the most popular in men and women, with the black sole and the black top. So just a very neat look that would go with almost anything.
What size? How big a size?
Oh my goodness, we go up to 15s.
Oh, good. You got my size.
And we start with a size 7 in men's. So that would even cover a 7 in men's is a 5 in youth. So if you have a child that would want to wear those, they can be covered now. If they're a 5 in youth or bigger. That one they call a camo print, of course, with the brown and the tan and the greens and things. But also like this one, I like the ones that does not have the white sole where they're not getting as dirty. But that one has more of a grayish tan sole also. So yeah, we're very excited to have the Hey Dudes in, and a big variety and a lot of sizes to choose from.
All right, we got a couple more down here.
Okay, you want to do the women's?
Oh, we're just doing guys. That's right. We're just doing guys right now. There you go.
Those
Now,
are women's there.
show me this real quick.
Okay, just a few other accessories we have for the men. That is a just like a wallet or a money clip made by STS.
Okay.
Only $15 on those. They're full leather, 100% leather. Area is always has a patriotic flag. And this is one that they've done recently. Brand new. We've not had it long. And they sell fast. We were unpacking them and sold one like that. So a very popular design there on those wallets by Area. So we've got all kinds of things for men. I think where we started with women's clothing and jewelry, we it's hard to overcome that misconception, but lots of men's, probably more men's than women's, clothing, hats, caps, belts, boots, you name it, we can get you outfitted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Social media, how do we find you?
Social media, we're on Facebook. We also have a Facebook group page and Instagram and also TikTok.
You got it. Love coming here, folks. One of my favorite people in the whole wide world, the Double C Western Supply, first down in football. Again, great sponsor, Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show on Railroad Street in Elizabethton, Double C Western Supply.
In a world where clutter, trash, and debris threaten your property, one man is ready to save the day. He's Container Man, your dumpster delivery superhero. Need to clear out your garage? Call Container Man. Remodeling your home? Call Container Man. Demolition waste taking over your job site? Call Container Man. From minor to major projects, Container Man has the perfect size dumpster for every task. With lightning fast delivery and the customer service of a locally owned company, he will help you restore order to your world. When you're ready to fight clutter, trash, and debris, call Container Man.
Hey, this is Tom Taylor. Here in 2024, the Tom Taylor Sports Show is now on TikTok. That's right. Lots of cool things coming all year long, again on TikTok. Be sure and like us, share it, and follow by hitting the plus button. So, a lot of neat things coming. Please get on board with us. Like, share, or follow by hitting the plus button. The Tom Taylor Sports Show, now in 2024, on TikTok. And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We're live here again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City, right down from Best Buy on People Street. All right, as we told you earlier, longtime Richard Childress Racing. Let's take a look at some NASCAR for a minute. Longtime RCR competition executive Andy Petrie announcing his immediate retirement from the race team. Keith Rodden, R-O-D-D-E-N, has been appointed interim competition director. 35-year veteran of NASCAR, joined RCR back in 1993 as a crew chief for then Dale Earnhardt Sr. With his help, Earnhardt got his 6th and 7th championships. 15 wins, 7 poles, 56 top 5s, and 47 top 10 finishes together. But Andy Petrie said, I'm done. Enough's enough, I'm leaving. So he left. Something ain't right about the RCR racing team. That's for you to quit in the middle of the season. You're the competition executive. Of course, he's over Dillon and Kyle Busch, so I don't know what's going on, but it ain't good. So changes are effective immediately. That's what I think. Not to the end of the season, like right in the middle of the racing season. Boom, gone. They're racing in Nashville this weekend, by the way. So anyway, Andy Petrie's out as the executive director of competition for Richard Childress Racing. As we told you earlier, Chase Briscoe making the announcement. He is now will be the new driver of the 2025 season for the number 19 Toyota Camry, replacing Martin Truex Jr. They flew him out to meet the president of Bass Pro Shops, make sure he's good with it. Everybody's good with it, so he's in. Been driving the last 4 years at Stewart-Haas Racing. Will now step up into a top-tier car and a powerhouse organization, no question. For Stewart-Haas and Lame Duck, they're shutting down the end of the season. So what does that do to the team? I always wonder when they make these announcements, this guy's jumping, leaving this team, going to this team. In this case, they're shutting the team down. What's the morality? You just go, what the heck, who cares? Of course, Briscoe's got him a ride next year. It doesn't matter to him. He's not trying to sell himself. Hello, Jerry Johnson. Hello to Randy Rochelle. Hope I'm saying it right. Probably not. Don't mean to mess it up. Phyllis Buechler. Hope I'm saying it right. Buechler. How about Buechler? Buechler. And one more up here I want to say hello to. Terry Berry and Scott Snyder. Thank you guys and ladies for watching. So what happens when you know your team's, when you're leaving? You're dismantling your team. Do the guys care? I guess the crew does care because they're trying to impress somebody, get a job for next season. But Briscoe, I know he's a competitor, but at the end of the day, does he really care? The guy's got a ride next year. If he does well, he does for Stewart-Haas Racing. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So, anyway, I always wonder that when they make these announcements in the middle of the season, what's that do to the morale of the team? In this case, it's not like there's another driver coming. They're shutting the whole team down. But then Gene Haas has come out and said, oh, by the way, we're going to fire one back up. we'll come back with a new team next year without Tony Stewart. So, interesting, to say the least. Tom Taylor Sports Show, that's your NASCAR look. Hello, Llewellyn Moser. Thank you for being with us. Dr. Mark Strand joins us coming up next. See what he's got going on, getting ready for Liberty Celebration Friday night. He joins us next right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. The Eagle Center, downtown Elizabethton, great antique store. Why come shop at the Eagle Center?
We just have so many unique things that tell a story, that add character to your home and conversation, and there's something new to look at every single day. Every time you come in, you won't see the same thing twice, and it's just a good place to shop for those unique gifts.
What's the saying you always use, the cliche?
Things tell a story when people no longer can.
That's it.
We have a building full of things that are just dying to tell stories.
Absolutely. 2 floors, over 50 vendors. Hours are open.
We're open 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday.
Closed on Sundays for the Lord's Day.
That's right.
And you have gift cards too, right?
We have gift cards available.
Yep. The Eagle Center, downtown Elizabeth, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. Be loyal, buy local, and shop at the Eagle Center in downtown Elizabethton.
Thank you, Tom.
Furniture. Tell folks out there what Cannon Furniture is all about, would you please?
We are a local family-owned small business. We have a full line of furniture and bedding, living room, dining room, recliners, mattresses, you name it. We have it. We also do custom lines of furniture.
Some of the product lines you carry are?
We have Bassett, England, Ashley, Benchcraft, Barca Lounger, and Sealy, Simmons, Tempur-Pedic, Serta, Beauty Rest, Sierra Sleep. And there's a new one coming soon, but I'll keep that one quiet until it gets here.
To the appropriate time. Hours are open at Cannon Furniture.
Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 9 to 5.
They rely a lot on social media. How can we find you on social media?
You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Cannon's Fine Home Furnishings.
Yep, one of our great sponsors is Cyclone Sports. Check them out, folks. Again, be loyal, buy local, and buy at Betsy in downtown Elizabeth. And the great folks are right here, Cannon's Furniture. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Our final guest here on show number 2100 is Dr. Mark Strand, Liberty Celebration. We put it up here and show you what we're getting ready to do Friday night and Saturday. Eastman Employee Center. We are America. It's going to be great. Looking forward to being a part of that. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, this is going great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Yeah.
It's what we call Crunch Week.
Crunch time.
Crunch Week. We had tech rehearsal last night, dress rehearsals tomorrow night, and we open Friday.
There you go.
Friday at 7, Saturday at 2.
Absolutely. How are ticket sales going?
Well, we've sold well over half of them already.
Oh, yeah.
We're on about close to 2/3 of them.
Yeah. And you have a lot of walk-ups?
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
So you sold over 2/3 of them already?
Yeah.
So you're already guaranteed at what? Over 1,000 in there?
Yeah.
Each night?
Yep.
That's awesome. It's going to be air, and people go, is it air? Yeah, it's air conditioned. It's nice and cool in there.
And there's not a bad seat in the house. If
No.
you've been in there, it's a slope floor.
Slope
no matter
down.
where you sit, it sounds good. It looks good.
The
We're A+.
acoustics are phenomenal in there.
Yeah.
When they built the
good.
place, I don't know who designed it, but the acoustics are probably one of the best in the Tri-Cities. They're really, really good. So it's going to be the Eastman Employee Center. How many in the choir?
100 plus a little bit.
100 plus in the choir.
Orchestra's 34, and
Kids
got
choir?
2 dozen in the kids choir.
There you go.
Westridge High School's coming with their ROTC Dobbins Bennett High School's there with their ROTC. We've got a dozen military groups throughout the whole Tri-Cities area going to be joining us. So it's a great bunch of people working together.
Hello, Carolyn Moore, Amy Willis. Hello to Kelly Humphreys. Hello to Dennis, and Lisa Evans. Amy Whitson. Hello, lady. How are you? She's always there. Thank you, Amy. Show number 2100. We're very proud of that. The most popular, or one of the most popular, we're not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I got the script. A $4 song, the most popular song we sing July 4th, or one of them, will be sung that night. So when I read the background of the song, which I'm always intrigued by how people, like the gospel songs and in this case, patriotic songs, and we know how Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem in Baltimore that night. So, but it's just interesting.
This is Julie Ward Howe.
Julie Ward Howe.
And her poem that goes along with the tune to Battle Hymn of the Republic.
And it got sold for $4.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll leave it at that. You have to come hear the rest of it. As Paul Harvey says, you'll know, the late Paul Harvey, you'll know the rest of the story. Coming up on Friday night at 7 o'clock and then Saturday at 2. So if you can't get Friday night, get there at 2 on Saturday. Maybe folks are buying both nights or night and day. It costs you $30, $40, $50. Nope.
No.
$5 ticket. $5. Come for it and be treated. You'll clap, you'll sing, you'll cry. We'll be emotional about families that have lost loved ones or are currently serving overseas or around the world. So it'll be a mixed bag of people coming in, right?
It'd be a great time.
Yep.
And so we have young families to lots of gray hair and everybody in between. And it's great.
Yep.
That's what add that $5 just to cover the expenses of doing this, which we've got some bills. But everything that's left over is going to our local Veterans Association.
There you go.
It's going to stay local.
Why did Mark String get involved in this? What got you involved in this back in the day?
Back in the late 90s, I had somebody come chase me down who was the head of this program, Liberty Celebration, and asked me, would you do this? Would you think about it? And I said, well, I did something like it at a little church. And he goes, yeah, I know. I saw it twice. And they pulled me in to be part of this in 1997. And this will be the 13th production we've done together.
Yeah, we do it every other year. Well, they do it every other year. I don't, but they do it every other year. And so this is 2024 is the year. And a very important year in our country's history with the election coming up. It's huge. I'm not getting into politics to which side of the fence you're on, but I will tell you this, get out and vote because it's going to be a big, big presidential election for this country. No question.
I think our nation really needs a chance to get together, to celebrate who we are, and remember that at the people level, we get along a whole lot more than we disagree.
Yeah.
Just those politicians that disagreeing.
Amen.
We get along.
Yep. And there's a lot of people down through the years, obviously, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who have done things to put us where we are today, serving this country, things behind the scenes. So, it's a chance to show your patriotism. Come ready to go Friday night at 7 or Saturday at 2 or both. Go to libertycelebration.com. For those who missed it last week, tell us the story again about is it Wales? Young man, they watched the soldiers sing in Wales. Tell me that story again.
Gentleman's name is Graham Bannister, born in 1944 in the south of Wales.
Yep.
And all of the U.S. soldiers coming into Europe to fight in World War II, a lot of them were stationed at his town. They were stationed at the horse racetrack. They'd set up tents, and that was their field they were at. And so his dad was a musician, and his dad would play tunes for the Americans. They'd throw dances and parties for them on the weekends just to get them, make them feel at home before they headed over to Europe to fight in the World War II.
Yeah.
And so Graham grew up listening to his dad play American songs. Graham is now an American citizen. He's going to sing Tennessee Waltz with us.
That's awesome.
And just because he grew up listening to his dad singing these Tennessee songs, these American songs.
With American soldiers.
With American soldiers.
In Wales.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Hello, Ned Cummings.
He's a fun guy to talk to.
Yep. Be cool. I like to have him come be on the show sometime, talk about that. That'd be really interesting, even after the fact.
Yep.
Then you also said a couple of weeks back you got some folks from Ukraine, is that right?
Got a young lady from Ukraine, naturalized citizen.
Yeah.
And just,
loves
it's
his
marvelous.
Yeah.
And I've got one of my best friends, retired Air Force pilot, has sung all 13 of these with me. And so it's just, there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yep.
A lot of good people.
A lot of stories behind the story. Got to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Friday
Please
night.
come enjoy it with us.
Yep. Friday night for $5, folks. It's like, well, I can't afford it. It's a $50. Okay, I can understand if it was a $50 ticket, but it isn't. $5. Boom. Come for, what, 90 minutes probably? Thereabouts?
Just under 2 hours.
It's under 2 hours. And you will
It's
not.
shorter than a movie.
Yeah. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. So we've got dress rehearsal tomorrow night, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Dress rehearsal tomorrow night.
And then the real deal on Friday night and the real deal on Saturday. Eastman Employee Center, Liberty Celebration. And what's left over on the proceeds will go to the Veterans Organization locally.
It's called TC MAC.
TC
It's the
MAC.
Tri-Cities Military Action Committee.
It's awesome. It's good stuff. You know, here's the thing. We're in this country, but I promise you, other parts of this country don't do this.
No.
No.
We've talked a lot. If this was Atlanta or Nashville, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
This wouldn't happen. This is a local thing to the Tri-Cities.
Yep. And so it's a chance for you to show your patriotism. Just come watch it. Enjoy the music. There'll be a song, I guarantee you, I've seen the list. There'll be a song that we will sing, or they will sing, I'm not singing, they will sing, that you'll go tapping your foot, or you'll want to chime in and sing. We'll have a chance to honor the military at one point, to folks in the crowd to stand when they hear their particular military song. And so, which is kind of standard anytime we do anything patriotic. But here it is. It's called Liberty Celebration. We Are America. Now, will they have these shirts on sale over there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can buy T-shirts if you want to.
Yeah. I've got mine there in the bag, but I won't drape it up over top of the camera screen. But this is what the logo is. We Are America. And again, as I've said every time we've had you on, and I do appreciate you driving every week from Kingsport to be on the show here in Johnson City, is that this is not a Kingsport show. It's based at Eastman Employee Center. You got folks in this orchestra and this choir from all over the Tri-Cities.
I've got orchestra members from as far away as Morristown.
Yep.
I got choir members coming in from Sevierville to be part of this, all the Tri-Cities up into Southwest Virginia. This is a community effort, and they come from all over.
Yeah. As Barney told Andy, it's big, 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 big. This is a big deal. All these folks have volunteered their time to come in here. You guys have been practicing every week, right?
Since the end of April.
Since the end of April. So these
No,
people are
3 rehearsals a week.
3 a week, and they're driving in from.
Twice for the for the choir and once for the orchestra every week since April.
There you go. So it's not, we're just going to throw this together and wing it. It's been very orchestrated by this gentleman here. Who else has been helping you do it? You've had other helpers?
Well, Mark Staten, who's been here to talk with you a couple times. Michael Kaywood helps the choir. David Williams been running the project, acting as our project manager to keep everybody on track. So, and then there's a whole committee of about a dozen.
Yeah.
To just deal with all the different things.
Yeah. Well, you put 100 people on a podium or on a risers and singing, and a kids choir and an orchestra. There's some moving pieces, aren't there?
There's some moving pieces.
Yeah.
But I just wanted that choir. Man, I've got 100 people that can sing.
Yeah.
Not just 100 people that can be in a seat. I got 100 people who know how to sing.
Know how to sing.
And they're blending, and they're just a marvelous sound. And the orchestra, they blend together. They listen to each other, and it fits.
Yeah.
You can put musicians together all over the place, but they don't always fit together. This group is fitting together and playing well. That's fantastic.
Yeah. They're meshing, as they say. Hello, Michael Clancy, Dion Brooks, Mike Andes, Eddie Kraft, Joyce Riffle, Ned Cummings. Thank you all for watching the show. We're here live again at Chick-fil-A. Again, it's coming up one more time. This is it. We've talked about it for weeks. Here it is. It's time, folks. It's tomorrow night, or rather Friday night, and Saturday afternoon at 7 on Friday, 2 o'clock on Saturday. It's hot outside. Yeah, it is. Come in, pay
It'll
$5.
be cool in there.
Pay $5 in there where it's cool. That's what, if you just want to get under the AC, it'll be cool. And again, not a bad seat in the house. It's a sloped. If you've ever been to the Eastman Employee Center, it's a sloped facility. So, and the acoustics, that's what blows my mind. You can go like this. You can hear it all the way at the top.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how they designed it, but I mean it is incredibly neat. So, anything else you want to leave us with, sir?
Just come out and enjoy it. Be an American.
Any other
Come
stories?
celebrate who we are.
Any other stories? Anybody? You've told me about the lady from Ukraine. Told about the guy that's grew up watching the soldiers in Wales sing. Any other neat stories of any of these other folks?
Just fun stuff. We've got one song we're doing called We Are America. I just found it this year by a country singer. I didn't know. But the group's singing it. It's going to be the children's choir with their parents to show their families of what We Are America looks like. And so I just think it's cool.
Oh, wow. get me fired up. I'm honored to be able to do this. I'm jacked up.
One thing I'm excited about, 2 of my kids, their spouses, and between them 4 of their kids are in this. So I have 8 of my family members as part of this choir, and it's just fun.
Absolutely. Means a lot to you, obviously.
Oh, yeah. My kids have grown up doing this. They were too young to be in the children's choir the first time we had it. Now they're all in their 30s, and they're all starting to bring their kids to come be part of it.
Wow.
We've grown up doing this together.
What do they call you, Granddad, Papa? What
They call me Poppy.
Poppy. So Poppy's leading it, and they're going to be in there singing. That's really cool.
Yep.
It is a true family affair. So, one more time, how do we can walk up this point and get tickets? If we want to get them today or tomorrow, where do we get them at?
They're at the Eastman Employee Center at the desk.
Yeah.
Right inside the door.
Yep, ticket office.
Yep.
So, or get them when you get there, or go over there now and pick them up before the event, right, before the performance.
They've been selling real quick this past week. It's picking up.
It's scooping up.
Yep, it's picking up.
I'm loving it, folks. Hope you'll be a part of it because of all the work this man's put in and all this orchestra practicing 3 times a week since April.
But I want to tell you, the guy beside me is going to be our narrator.
Yeah.
If you like to listen to him, he'll do a good job.
Yeah. I hope at the end of the day they'll go, where'd you get that yahoo?
I've got some stuff written for you to read that's pretty tear-jerking, so you better be ready.
Yeah, I know. I've read it. Have you added to it or what you gave me? What
I gave you.
Oh,
it's strong stuff.
Oh, it is strong stuff. You better believe it. When you start talking about when Ronald Reagan, I start quoting Reagan, I almost start crying every time. That guy was spot on.
Have you read the poem about the Marine?
Yes.
Oh, and the flag going by? Yeah, it'll bring you to tears.
I'm reading that too, aren't I?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's going to be good, folks. We'll see you hopefully Friday night at 7 and or Saturday at 2 at the Eastman Employee Center in Kingsport. Get you some lunch, sir. I'll see you tomorrow night for rehearsal.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's awesome. Love working with this guy. He's a pro. He gets it done. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this. So, Amanda Morgan, Lynn Stevens, Charles White, Jimmy Stout. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City, show number 2100 of the Tom Douglas Sports Show. Very simple. It happens every day. Tell us how we can do it.
Yeah, all you got to do is give us a call. We brought 2 yesterday, actually, but you just give us your name and your birthday and tell us where your prescriptions are at right now, and we'll call that pharmacy, get everything brought over. A lot of times people are nervous about moving because they're afraid something doesn't have refills or something can't be transferred. And when that's the case, we'll call those doctors, get you new prescriptions, and take care of everything, really. It's like the people, one of them we had transferred yesterday, said they'd been trying for about 3 days to get medicine refilled, and just wasn't happening, and was frustrated and asked if we could do better, and called, got everything transferred. Took maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and we had to call the doctor on one, which waiting on doctors can sometimes be a little time consuming, but they got that called in, and by the afternoon we had everything ready for her.
There you go, folks. So, it's just that easy. If you're not happy where you're getting your prescriptions filled, come to the Lingerfield Drug Center. The phone number to call and talk to you about it is?
It's 423-542-2138.
There you go. One of our great sponsors right here of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Douglas Sports Show. Get your prescription changed to a mom-and-pop pharmacy that still cares about their people and still wants to give you 100% customer satisfaction. It's right here at Lingerfield Drug Center beside Carter County Bank in downtown Elizabethton. Proud sponsor of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Douglas Sports Show.
Swing and a miss. And for the first time, Rocky Top reaches the mountaintop of college baseball. They are the World Series champions. Everybody processes the moment differently, from Tony Vitello's dad to Kirby Connell to the team that just lost a nail-biter of a game. That the Volunteers win 6-5, their 60th win of the year, and a national championship in Knoxville for the baseball team.
Pretty incredible. I mean, for a team that's been here 3 of the last 4 years, the 1 year they throw in 63 pitches. He runs out of the bullpen, gets the final 3 outs. And Cal Stark, the Knoxville native, can now say he's a national champ.
What a victory for Vitello and what he has built at Tennessee. You go through the gauntlet of the SEC, you survive that, and you come to Omaha.
Well, that never grows old. It won't grow old. I can tell you that. Hello to Tina Hoyman. Hello to Lisa Parkinson, Bill Reisinger, Amanda Morgan. Thank you, guys. And ladies for watching. We're here again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on People Street, right down the parking lot from Best Buy is where you want to come to your Chick-fil-A here. If you're in Elizabethton, and yours, we know, is closed. Again, the opening date, September the 5th. So it'll be here before you know it. What, 60 days out? A little over 60 days. So had Tim on the show earlier and announcing that we're reopening on September the 5th in Elizabethton. So there you go. Now you know. All right, Jacksonville Jags. Jacksonville City Council voting to approve an agreement between the Jags and the city on a $1.4 billion renovation of Everbank Stadium for the Jags. So construction, if they got to vote on it, well, they did vote on it, so now they get the approval of the NFL owners. 24 out of the 32 owners have to agree to it. In October in Atlanta is when they'll vote again or meet again to vote on it. If that happens, construction scheduled to begin after the 2025 season and finish in time for the 2028 season. And so right now, for the next 2 seasons, they're going to be doing maintenance on the stadium, repairs to prepare the stadium for that construction if it gets approved. That's for the Jacksonville Jags. They just signed Trevor Lawrence to a big contract extension, so they're building for the future for the Jags in a literal sense. PGA Golf Tournament this weekend. The tour stops in Detroit at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Starting tomorrow in Detroit at the Detroit Golf Club. Appalachian League Baseball. Who plays where tonight? Where do you get to watch it? In the Tri-Cities. Bristol's home to Tri-State. Kingsport's home against Greenville. Elizabethton's in Bluefield. Johnson City's in Pulaski. And Danville plays at Burlington. But if you want to watch Appalachian League Baseball tonight, in the Tri-Cities, Kingsport's hosting Greenville. And Bristol is home to Tri-State, and they're playing out at Pioneer Park in Greenville at Tusculum. Bristol doesn't have a home. There's a story about the Stateliners. They're trying to build a stadium in Bristol for the Stateliners. They even talk about playing it starting next year at Tennessee Highfield because they have no home in Bristol. They don't have a stadium. They've been playing down in Greenville. So you know the attendance for Bristol, not what it needs to be or wants to be when you got to drive from Bristol to Greenville to watch your team play. So I'm sure that's really been a negative at the box office, and I get that. Hello, Doris Hirschberger and Jack Collins. Thank you for watching the show. So we're going to go back and touch on this just in a second about the ongoing dilemma of this big antitrust settlement for college sports. It's going to be a mess, I'm telling you. There's no way they can referee it, for lack of a better term. There's no way. It's already out of control. It's not even got started. What are you talking about? NCAA, $2.8 billion House antitrust settlement. Who gets the money? How are they going to distribute it? Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, goes on record yesterday looking to the federal government to help them decide who's going to get this money. Now, it's going to go back to former athletes in college sports over the last 7 years. So you, wherever you work, you go back and try and track them down. Of course, they'll come out of the woodwork and say, yeah, I was working there then. It won't be too hard to find. But how do you decide who gets the money? Number one, you have transfers and people who just quit. You have people, I'm sure, in the 7 years, unfortunately, probably have deceased. So their family's going to say, well, we get, Tom played ball for you all back in the day. He passed away, but we need money too. Everybody's going to have their hand out. You can mark it down. There's no way to regulate this. There'll be more lawsuits flying on this thing than Carter's got liver pills. You wait and see. There's no way. The more I read into this. So now Charlie Baker says, he brings up a very good point. He says, all right, what do we do with Title IX? It ain't just bad English. Well, I'm still country. It don't matter. It ain't just for the boys. The girls got their hands out too, and deservedly so. If we're going to pay college athletes, you got to pay the guys and the girls. So who gets the money and how much? Title IX requires universities to provide equal opportunities for male and female athletes, which has typically been reflected in the number of scholarships offered to each. Okay, get that. With schools opting now into a revenue share model expected to cost right around $22 million a year. How will that number be split up amongst the athletes has prompted great debate. Oh, yes. He was speaking at the NIL Summit at the College Football Hall of Fame. Charlie Baker wants to say get the feds involved, the Department of Education. Let's get them in there. Because here's what's going to go on with the Title IX. There is, I'm telling you, there'll be more lawsuits. Hello, Cindy Smart and Bob Phillips and Lillian Burns and Michael Stafford and Leona Vanda Cruz and we said hello to John Collins. There's no way there's not going to be lawsuits. He gave an example, and he's spot on. To this point, the Department of Education has yet to weigh in on the Title IX implications of the deal. Well, they don't know what to do with it either. It is a juggernaut. It's out of control. It's not even started. Without federal guidance, it can mirror how schools approach name, image, and likeness. Schools are already taking different paths. Some said, okay, we're going to make it a conference-wide decision. Well, that ain't going to work. Because the Big Ten's going to say, we're going to give a percentage of this to the guys and the girls. The SEC says, well, we're not going to do it that way. Okay. Then all of a sudden we're not on a uniform situation at this point. This is way early in the game, but I'm just telling you what all's out there as far as hiccups and landmines these people are going to deal with. And they are. Hello, Jared Sheffield. How you doing? Now, Charlie Baker says some schools have already said they're going to assume the Title IX mandates they give are 50% female and 50% male. Okay. Other schools are not going to make that assumption and will probably decide football generates most of the broadcast revenue. They have a higher NIL value based on that, so they're going to get more to the football players and basketball players than to some of the other men's and women's teams. That ain't going to fly. I can tell you right now. Now, as I said earlier in the show, person makes more money here that has more responsibility and is more not influential, would be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Management brings more money to the table as far as responsibility. I'm paying you more because you got more duties and responsibilities, so you're worth more to me. How about that? Versus someone who's back there, not diminishing somebody's making salads or fries here at Chick-fil-A. But football's the bell ringer in college sports. Hello, James Brown. How you doing? So it only makes sense that they're going to get more money out of this, more cut of this money. Other schools are not going to go 50-50. They're going to probably will decide that football is generating most of the revenue, and they have a higher NIL value based on that, so they're going to give more to football players and basketball players and some other amounts to men's sports and women's sports. It's going to be up to each school. That ain't going to fly, I can tell you right now. When I called my buddy down the road, and he said, man, I played ball at such and such school, and they gave me this. Well, I played ball for our school. I was out there, too, and I only got this. Ain't going to work, I'm telling you. So, here's the example Charlie Baker gave us in this speech, and it's very legitimate. A school splits the $22 million evenly amongst men and women athletes. It could prompt football players to sue if they're not receiving enough compensation relative to the revenue they generate for the schools. So old Tom Taylor says, I played football, and we're on national television. We went to the bowl games. We made all this kind of money for the school. We told you last week what kind of money they're going to make. If you're an SEC school, case in point this year, you make it a 12-round playoff, or 12-team playoff, rather. The base is $3 million. You make that first game, you make $3 million. Volleyball ain't making that. Not throwing off of volleyball. I'm just telling you, if you look at the pecking order financially inside an athletic department, volleyball ain't bringing that to the table. Then you go to the next level in the SEC, go to the quarterfinals, you get $3.5 million. It goes right on up. And they're going to say, the football players going to say, tennis ain't getting that. They ain't bringing that kind of money in. Golf ain't bringing that kind of money in. Swimming ain't bringing that kind of money in. Pick a sport. Doesn't make it right, but that's what they're going to say. And they'll have teeth behind it to justify it. And so then the school says, okay. So Tom Taylor says, look what we generated last year for this university in revenue for the football team. I'm on the football team. And over here, you have gymnastics. There's 500 people in the stands or whatever. They ain't making the kind of money we're making for the school. I need a bigger cut. That's exactly what Charlie Baker said. That's exactly what's going to happen. He says, for example, that kind of setup could prompt football players, or pick a sport, basketball players. How about baseball? Look what baseball did for Tennessee and Texas A&M in the College World Series over the last 2 weeks. It can prompt football players to sue if they aren't receiving enough compensation relative to the revenue they generate to the schools. Absolutely. There's going to be lawsuits flying all over the place on this. Expect a conference-level push for uniformity among members of each conference. If there's not a federal answer, federal's got enough problems. We're trying to keep the borders secure, and we're dealing with Ukraine, dealing with the economy. I mean, they can get in there and waller with this if they want to, but I think they got enough on their plate up in Washington to pull with this. It's not difficult to envision the potential issues of, let's say, one Big Ten school spending 80% on football, another one's only doing 50%. Then what do you do? Inside the conference, XYZ school says, football's the money cow over here. We're going to compensate football guys or the basketball guys, the basketball girls, whatever. And the school down the road in the same conference is, we're not. Over here, our sport making the money for us is blank. We're going to put more money towards those athletes. It's a can of worms, folks. It's not going away. And Charlie Baker, I don't know what they pay the old boy, but he's going to get every penny. He'll earn it. Because then they're in a no-win situation, in my humble opinion. Hello, Jerry Egan. How you doing, sir? Joseph Welch, Eve Gurr. Put this back over where I can see it again. Eve Gurr and Joseph Welch. Thank you guys for watching. Sean Linderholm, Danny Guerrero, James Brown, Daryl Williams. So anyway, it is a can of worms that they don't have an answer for, I promise you. They being the NCAA. And so Charlie Baker said, we want to get the feds involved. As I said, they got enough on their plate to try and take care of this, but somebody's got to deal with it. $2.8 billion. I told you this a month or so ago when it came out. How are they going to regulate it? How are they going to dispense this money, or disperse this money, rather? How are they going to decide who's going to get it? And now Title IX says, oh, by the way, federally mandated equal opportunity, the ladies deserve some of the money too. And I get that. But who decides this big chunk of money? And the football, the one that's generating the most revenue for the school, in theory, should be the one that gets the most money back to them. But you go back, it's 7 years. And everybody that's ever played in a college over those 7 years will come out and go, yeah, I played back in 7 years back, 2017. Well, you quit and transferred someplace else. I was there, though. Or I quit the team, or I transferred, or I got hurt, never could play anymore. Got all these scenarios. And then, unfortunately, there'll be people over the last 7 years that passed away. Then who gets the money? Well, Jim Bob passed away, but I'm his mama. I'm his uncle. Not his uncle. I'm his father. I'm whomever. I'm his wife. How about that? Then you get into dispensing money because they don't have any regulations yet. All this is out there. You say, well, that won't happen. There is no template. Old boy got married, passed away, played soccer for the University of Blank. His wife says, we're owed that money because he's gone or she's gone. We deserve it. We deserve that money. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. And there is no answer, and I can't answer today either. I don't have the answer. I just know I wouldn't want to be Charlie Baker because whatever decision it makes will be wrong. And you can immediately, them lawyers be on the phone going, okay, lawsuit, beep, 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 lawsuits, left and right. You hide and watch. So, anyway, that's what's going on. Hello, Ann Mikey. Hello to Gord Hack. Gerald, gosh, I don't mess these names up. Here's Ronald Robinson. I can say that one. Joel Fisher. Gerald Bouchler. I'm going to say Couch with a B. Bouchler. How about Gerald Bouchler? I hope that's right. Ann Mackey, Gord Hack. Thanks for watching the show. Show number 2100. Tomorrow will be 2101 from the Eagle Center Antique Store in Elizabeth, named the #1 antique store in the Tri-Cities by the viewers of WJHL TV. And then Friday we'll kick off the 4th of July weekend of sorts, even though 4th is not till next Thursday, but the sale papers come out and it's ready to go. The 4th of July. Yep, here it is. The 4th of July. Hard to believe. Oh, here it is right here. 4th of July. Deals for days. We'll be talking about that on the 4th. Got corn on sale, watermelon on sale, blueberry strawberry cakes on sale. All that at Food City. We'll be at Food City in Elizabeth to kick off the 4th of July. Officially, unofficially, even though it's not the next Thursday. We'll take one more break, come right back after this, run back down Major League Baseball. Who's playing where today? Braves got a doubleheader. Right after this from Carter County Bank on the Tom Daly Sports Show.
We're proud to help our region move forward and help reopen every business we can.
This is Pastor Mark Fowler, and we want to invite you to be with us at Pleasant Beach Baptist Church sometime soon. And we're thankful for what God is doing, and we've had visitors almost every week. We have so many people that God is using His Word to accomplish a work in their life. And we want you to come. I think about our society today, and there's a lot of talk about the negative aspects and generations and what's missing and what we're going to do and how do we face this social issue and how do we face that social issue, and that is always the buzz, and if we're not careful we talk like God doesn't have an answer. 2 Timothy chapter 3 we looked at the other night together in our church, and it reminds us that yes, in the last days there's going to be some difficult things come, dangerous times, but the antidote is always God's Word. And so what we're trying to do is to provide Bible answers for today's tough questions. And we're building Believers by the Book. So we want your family to come. We're thankful to have a Sunday school hour and a junior church and master clubs and a youth group and all those things going on. But what we're trying to accomplish is to get the Word of God into the hearts and minds of God's people.
In a world world. Where clutter, trash, and debris threaten your property, one man is ready to save the day. He's Container Man, your dumpster delivery superhero. Need to clear out your garage? Call Container Man. Remodeling your home? Call Container Man. Demolition waste taking over your job site? Call Container Man. From minor to major projects, Container Man has the perfect size dumpster for every task. With lightning fast delivery and the customer service of a locally owned company, he will help you restore order to your world. When you're ready to fight clutter, trash, and debris, call Container Man.
Back on the Tom Douglas Sports Show. Before we get out of here, we always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. Here's today's verse out of Exodus 15:2 says, "The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will praise him." And we do. My Father's God, and I will glorify him or exalt him. Exodus 15:2 out of the Old Testament. That's the verse of the day here on the Tom Douglas Sports Show. Before we get out of here again, let's run down one more time what's happening in the bigs today. Starting up here, it's already underway. If I can get a score real quick. Between Seattle and Tampa Bay, the Mariners are red hot. Baseball team right now. See if we got a score on that one yet, and we'll run down the rest of the schedule before we get out of here. 1-0 Tampa Bay in the bottom of the third. So the Rays leading the Mariners in Tampa, 1-0. And let's see if there's any breaking news here. NBA draft tonight. Yeah, Texas A&M coach leaves. Head to Texas after an angry response. It was, it's pitiful. The way he handled that. Emma Hayes and her coaching staff named the official 18-player roster for the upcoming Summer Olympics. So, I don't see. Oh, I'm sorry, this is soccer. Getting ready to talk about basketball. But anyway, she's going to be the coach, so nothing breaking the sports world. Seattle, Tampa Bay, Rays lead 1-0 in the third. It's the only game underway right now. Later today at 1:10, in about 10 minutes, will be Philadelphia in Detroit. And the Pirates in Cincinnati day games. Cardinals and the Braves. Lopez and the Braves will go out at 1:45 with a doubleheader. Second game tonight at 7:15. Bryce Elder on the mound for the Braves in Game 2. Colorado at Houston this afternoon. Miami and Kansas City. Milwaukee hosting Texas. Oakland and L.A. to battle the Angels. Washington at San Diego. Under the lights tonight, Cleveland and Baltimore. The Yankees and Mets in the Subway Series continuing at the Met Stadium. Toronto at Boston. The Dodgers in Chicago to battle the White Sox. They're terrible. Golly, Ned, they are bad. Minnesota at Arizona, and the Giants hosting the Cubbies. And that's a good way to wrap it up here at the Tom Douglas Sports Show. Tennessee picks up that big recruit, 6'6", 285, Douglas Utu. Going to play football with the Volunteers. Go guard or tackle on the offensive line, which is huge in a literal sense. Hello, Patricia Joe Goetti. Hope I'm saying it right. Hey, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Thanks to our guest, Dr. Mark Strand, and also Alex Smith from the Johnson City Press Sports Writer, and also Tim Birchfield, the owner of Chick-fil-A. We'll be back with you tomorrow from the Eagle Center in downtown Elizabethton, named the #1 antique store in the Tri-Cities by the viewers of WJJL, which is pretty cool, and Tammy loves that and has earned it very much. Hello, Sarah Counts. How you doing? So we'll be there tomorrow at the Eagle Center. Then Friday we'll kick off the weekend at Food City. So we'll rejoin you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. If you don't have a church home, we'd encourage you to come to church with us tonight at Pleasant Beach Baptist Church. Got the Master Club with the kids back in the Bobby Stout, never do say it right, Family Life Center. There you go. Bobby Stout Family Life Center. And the regular service at 7 o'clock tonight. Oh, that's right. We got our big 4th of July picnic coming up on Sunday. Yeah, I'm all about that. the 4th of July picnic on Sunday at the church. Oh, that's good stuff, too. Always have watermelon and fireworks. We put out fireworks. I forgot all about that. It's going to be good. All right, thanks for watching the show 2100. Back with you tomorrow at the Eagle Center, downtown Elizabeth. Until then, we'll say, as always, bloom where you planted, and win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for watching show number 2100 of the Tom Douglas Sports Show, live today at